I'm Emily.
And I'm Hannah.
We are best friends and dietitians. We have a goal of challenging nutrition misinformation and fitness trends with an evidence-based approach.
Each episode, we will dish up our thoughts about the latest facts on a popular health-related topic.
We're the Up-Beet Dietitians. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Up-Beet Dietitians podcast.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the pod. In today's episode, we are talking all about dining out. So this is going to be another episode of hopefully not tangible, what's the right word? Usable tips and tricks, kind of like our grocery episode we did a few weeks ago. So we're not debunking anything really. It's more just giving tips on the best way to reach your health goals when you are dining out. So a little bit about why this episode matters, why we think that dining out should be discussed. Dining out is, in our opinion, a really great experience. It's a way to connect with friends and family, and it does not need to be a cause of guilt. I know I used to feel that way. If I would ever go out, I would just either restrict a lot and get something I didn't even enjoy, or I would feel super guilty if I got something that was not on my diet or whatever. And as you guys know, we don't do diets here. So it is literally impossible to ruin your diet by going out to eat.
Yeah. And eating away from your house is not only a common, even if it is a common activity, we can make it fun. And there's a way that you don't have to constantly eat a specific way. We are going to give you tips on how you can make choices that have vegetables in it and a solid protein source. So you're still going to get a well-rounded meal at times. And of course, it's okay if you don't have a vegetable during one time you go out. It's not the end of the world, but hopefully these tips will help you if you are trying to be not as, I don't want to say healthy, because I don't like the word healthy.
Yes.
But
if you're indulging, that's great. Do that. No guilt there. Or if you want to just eat more like a typical healthful, nourishing meal, we'll go over how that would look.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing, is there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
So let's jump right into it. This episode structure is very simple. We're just going to talk about some different tips, very straightforward, go over some common meal ideas or meal options that we've seen at popular restaurants that could be good options for you. And then as always, we like to have a bottom line final verdict at the end, as you guys know. So first tip is don't skip meals before eating out to save calories to eat. What this is going to do, you're going to starve yourself throughout the day, and then you're going to binge when you eat because you're starving your body for this entire day. So it's desperately in need of calories. And then suddenly you put food in for yourself, you're probably going to eat too quickly. You're probably going to overeat. And then after, you're going to feel really gross. So eat normally throughout the day before eating out. You don't need to do anything wild beforehand.
Agreed. If we wait too long to eat or we restrict for too long, it makes it really hard to eat mindfully. Like Emily said, you get the food in front of you, and then it's no matter how hard you try, no matter how much willpower you have, you're going to eat as much as you can because you've been restricting for so long.
Right.
All right. Our next little tip is to try to choose a restaurant that provides a wide variety of nutritious choices and allows you to customize your order so it meets your needs. This would definitely be in the case if you are looking to have a more nourishing meal. You're not looking to indulge or have more of a fun meal, if you will. I don't know. The lingo is kind of hard in this episode, I think. But
right.
If you are looking for a more nourishing meal, this would be what you could look for. Something that has a lot of different choices. You can customize your order, like a Chipotle kind of thing, for example, where there's a ton of different things to choose from. You can really make it your own and make it in a way that suits your needs.
Right. And it's if you're going to some place to get pizza, get pizza. But I feel it's almost if it's something regularly that you need to eat out for, or you're not going for a specific thing, that's when almost a nutrient dense-esque meal would be better.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been trying to say. That's perfect.
Yes, you when you kept saying nourishing, it alerted something in my brain.
We're a good team. We're a good team. That's perfect.
Yes. The next tip we have is eating is a wonderful time to bond with other people. Additionally, that being so, connect with your family members if you are able to sit down and enjoy a meal with them. This is such a nice time, especially with, I feel like everyone has such busy schedules. And this can be friends as well, but really recreating that like at home mealtime experience when eating out can be so beneficial rather than focusing primarily on like the types of foods you're eating. Not only will that help you enjoy the entire experience, but I feel like it'll also strengthen that bond you have with your loved ones, because what better way than to bond over food?
Yeah. Yeah. And what I also want to say with this one is that if you do go out, do try to do it in a way where you get to sit down, because, you know, if you're getting food and eating it in your car, or I don't know, you're on the road or whatever, that's okay once in a while, of course, like that's just how life goes, and that's absolutely fine. But it will really help you to be more mindful and tune into your cues and actually enjoy that time with family if you can do a sit down experience rather than on the road or whatever.
Absolutely. I forgot about that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think I forget that sometimes people have to go elsewhere. I work remote. I don't go anywhere. So they're all very new experiences to me.
Emily's in hermit mode lately.
Yeah, I don't leave the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Our next one is to check out the nutrition information the restaurants provide before you go, so you can make informed decisions. So again, this is back to what Emily had clarified what I was trying to say, where if you're going to a place just like on a regular old day, just to like get a regular old meal, if you want to try your best to look at the information they have, so you can kind of see like how many calories, how much protein, if they have like veggie rich options or whatever before you go.
Right. And it's fun to look at menus, I feel like.
I love it. I've already planned out. If you guys didn't know, which you probably don't, I'm going to visit Emily this weekend. I'm so excited. Yeah. And I've been like planning out all of our like menu choices already.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like this is also something to note, that there's a fine line between checking the nutrition information beforehand and then also like obsessing over it and making choices over obsessing over like grams of fat or like something like that. I've seen it happen. So there's definitely a fine line with this. Even if there are innocent intentions at first, continue to be reflective of your intentions behind checking that information.
Yes, I think the why behind why you're looking at that is important, because you're allowed to look at that. They're there for a reason. And as dietitians, of course, we want you to like know what you're eating and like make a healthy, informed choice. But if it is an obsessive behavior or anything like that, then that's something to think about.
Yes. So our next tip is, we kind of already talked about it a little bit, is to eat mindfully. Make sure you're really savoring your food, and taking those first few bites are always going to be the most satisfying, because it's like there's a lot of anticipation around ordering this different food. Typically, it's a food that people are excited about. Make sure that you are listening to your hunger cues, though. And if you are no longer hungry, do not keep eating. You can take home leftovers. I've never had a restaurant not do that. Well, that's not true. But I've had one restaurant that let you take leftovers, but they disclose that beforehand. So you knew it going in. But don't be afraid to take home leftovers. Not only can you experience, I know it's not as fresh, but you can still experience the meal again. And that way you won't you won't override those satiety cues telling you to kind of stop eating.
Yeah. I love leftovers. I think I said in another episode before that like I will like repurpose them. Like if I got like steak and potatoes, I would like make that into like a steak and egg scramble in the morning. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like to do, because I agree it's definitely not as fresh. And so I don't know, it can be fun to just like recreate it into like a new dish if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next tip. We are chugging along here. Next one is, you can always order your toppings, any sauces, any dressings on the side, because those are usually our most calorie dense parts of the meal. And so if you are trying to have a little more control over that, you can always order those on the side. And then you have that, again, that control over how much you're using of all those. So again, not that you have to worry about portions, calories, all of that, because eating mindfully is what's most important. Listening to your hunger cues and stopping when you're full, taking home leftovers, that sort of thing. But if it helps you to eat more mindfully, feel free to get those things on the side so that you do have that control.
Yeah. And also it helps you control how much like sauce there is with each of your bites. I do this a lot with salads because I get really annoyed when they pour it on top and then the bottom of the salad doesn't have any dressing and I'm like upset about it. But if you have it on the side, you can either dip. Actually, this is a question for you, Hannah. When you eat your salads and it's dressing's on the side, do you dip your fork into the dressing first, then eat the salad, or do you stab your salad and then dip it into this dressing?
If I am doing like an on the side thing, I definitely do fork in the dressing and that dressing fork goes in the salad.
Okay, same. That's
what you do too. I've never actually thought about doing it the other way. I didn't know you could even do that.
I feel like it'd be more messy because like there's probably some leaves would get left behind and then there's just leaves in your dressing and then it just keeps adding up and then there's just like one piece of leaf that's like drenched in dressing.
Right.
So I feel like that's the more controlled way of doing it.
Yeah, but if you're feeling crazy, I guess you could do both ways.
I'm feeling wild. Yes.
That's funny.
Our next tip is to choose smaller portion sizes. Overall, if you know that you might tend to overeat a little bit and you want more of that portion control section, you can choose like the lunch size. If they do like lunch versus dinner, you choose a lunch size. You can also choose like appetizers to eat. Appetizers are not just for before the meal. You can order appetizers as your meal, which is super fun.
I do that all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Plus there are so many fun ones to try. So I'm like, sometimes that's the move. So of course,
that's the move.
Bobby says that all the time.
Your Gen Z is showing.
No. Right. I've been spending too much time with social media.
Right.
But of course, if you would like leftovers though, that's when maybe choosing a larger portion could be better. But if you don't like that, if you don't want to bring home leftovers and you want more control of that portion, go with the smaller size.
Yes. Agreed. All right. Next one. Try to select items that are baked, grilled, broiled, poached, or steamed. Those are kind of like the buzzwords or keywords for like a leaner cut, or not a leaner cut, but like a lower calorie option, lower fat option. Those are the words to look for versus like fried, crispy, breaded. Now, again, you can enjoy those foods guilt-free. That's great. But just so you're aware, the terms that do mean like lighter, lower calorie, that sort of thing is that baked, grilled, broiled, poached, steamed. Yeah. That usually means they don't add like oil to it. They don't fry it. Like it's pretty cut and dry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Our next tip is share appetizers and desserts with your friends and family. This is nice in the case of if you don't want to eat an entire piece of cake, then you can share it with other people, but you're still getting something sweet in and still enjoying that food. On the other side of it though, if you'd like to try multiple appetizers or multiple desserts, that's when like family style can be very nice because then you can try a little bit of everything. And you don't have to feel the need to finish everything of that one thing you got.
That's what Ross and I do almost always is we get an appetizer to share and then we each get our meals usually, and we always split those and like sample each other's. And then if we get dessert, we'll always share that too. That way we get to like try everything.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
There's so much sharing it.
Yes.
And dining out.
Yes. Make sure you like who you go with so you don't mind sharing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know how often you're going out to eat with people you don't like. That's a problem you got to figure out.
I would say maybe like in work meetings.
That's true.
But I also probably wouldn't recommend sharing a meal with like your boss.
Yeah. I was gonna say I wouldn't feel obligated.
Depending on your relationship with them. Like if they're like really cool and laid back, maybe be like, oh, let's split some apps. But if it's more of a serious meeting, or if it's even a client meeting,
oh God,
definitely not. Like I know we're here to like I don't know. I've never done a business meeting over lunch.
I mean, no, we're dietitians, so
yeah. Although we should do that. Why don't we? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're here to like discuss your mortgage or something.
Ooh, like our podcast guests, we can do like over lunch.
Then you would
we
hear
have to like
eating.
live in the same city. We could have like a brainstorming session about the episode and then we would record it later.
Okay, that'll be our work.
It'd be a bigger time cruncher for all of us, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that'll be like if we it's like if we fly them in, like we have the funds.
And also like fly them where we live 4 hours apart from each other.
Like Maryville, Indiana.
We'll like meet them halfway. It's actually not a bad idea.
I mean,
you guys always get to hear our behind the scene business conversations so you can't ever stay on topic.
Yeah. We'll just have to live in the same place. I feel like that's much
best
easier
case.
than us like driving like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, like once a week for a guest.
To fly out our guest.
Yeah, so not only are we paying for the flight and the food, the flight in the same day, they'll fly there, fly back. Even though they probably only live like an hour or two away anyway, because we don't have that many friends in faraway places. We'd also be paying for our gas to drive 5 hours.
This makes so much sense. This is why brainstorming is important.
We need a CFO. We need a financial guy.
Yeah, because we're
supposed to be Ross. I'll let him get on this.
Yeah. Tell him we're flying people.
We have a proposal for you, Ross. What do you think? Can the fund support this at this point?
Yeah. I don't even know how that came up.
We were talking about sharing a meal with coworkers.
Oh yeah, how did we begin?
I don't even know.
Anyway, you guys get what we're saying.
Yeah, you don't have to share a meal. Don't feel obligated. But if you like the person and you're close with them, by all means.
If you feel like they would say no, then I would say don't ask. Like if you don't feel comfortable enough for that person, don't.
Let them be the one to ask you.
Yeah.
And then you get to decide yes or no.
Yeah.
You don't have to say yes.
Yes.
That's a good point too. If someone wants to share a meal with you, you don't have to share.
Yeah. I have had that, honestly, where I don't like what the other person, like I have very different preferences. And that's saying a lot because like I'm not a picky person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't like what they're going to choose. I'm like, no, I want my food.
I mean, we're dietitians. Like people have to know we know what we like.
Yeah.
We're particular, not picky, particular.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think I have a refined palate. I would say so. I know what's good and what's not, but also it's very subjective. So
yeah.
Okay. Anyway. We only have a few tips left, so let's get through those. So our next one is one we've kind of already touched on a little bit, but if oh my gosh, I can't talk today. I just like had a stroke. Oh my gosh. Okay. If you know that you tend to binge or overeat at restaurants and you really struggle with that, like we said, I think one of the first few tips is eat a small snack before. I think what we said earlier is don't save calories, but this kind of goes more so into like what to do if you do struggle with that binging. Eat a snack before you go. That way you don't feel as hungry.
Yeah. Very easy. Very simple. So the next tip is don't be afraid to ask questions about how the food is prepared or if you can make any types of substitutions. This is especially if you know you have any types of sensitivities to food or if you want to know more about the meal in general. Like you see a funky word that you don't even know what it means. Don't be afraid to ask. They are there to answer your questions. But of course, I feel like also I'm going completely off track as always.
No.
Hannah and I both have an extensive food service background. So be nice to the food service workers.
Yes.
Coming from dietitians and also previous food service workers. Because I feel like they deal with so much. So respectfully ask them questions. And if they don't know, don't get upset with that. Choose something else if it's really going to be that much of an issue.
Yes, they are there to help you and to quite literally serve you, but that doesn't mean they're there to like get ridiculed and take your crap.
No.
That's just not their job. So don't be mean to them.
Yeah. Think if that's like, for example, like if you have a kid, that's your like your child, or that's someone's child that you are bullying. Leave them alone.
Yeah. And rant. That could have got way worse, but I think we held it together pretty well.
Yeah. I have a lot of opinions about how food service workers are treated, but that is not for this episode.
Yeah, same. Okay. Okay. Actually, our last tip here, we are wrapping up with these. So try to give yourself plenty of time to eat. So at least like 15, 20 minutes. I know that can be easier to do if you are with friends and family as you're like talking and everything. It's a good thing. The reason it's so helpful to eat slower is this helps you recognize when you are feeling full so that you can, put a stop to it, get leftovers if you want to, bag it up, take it home, whatever. So if you're on your own eating food from a restaurant, it might be a little more challenging. So really try to challenge yourself to take that 15, 20 minutes at least to do it. And I would say too, if you are with friends or family eating a meal, it can be hard to hear those cues as well, since you're like in the moment talking about whatever. So try your best to think about that too. Like if you're not able to be as mindful because you are caught up in the conversation, just try to think about that as much as you can. Don't get obsessed and like too worked up about it. It's okay to eat past your fullness, but it's just good to be aware that we should be thinking about that.
Yes. It's a very good point to make. So now another fun section where we are going to go over some fun options that you can typically find at popular restaurants. So also, Hannah, let me know if you don't like any of these.
Well, I was going to say, do we want to just like blow through them real fast? Like, I feel like it's not much besides listing them off.
Yeah. That's
but
all right. Let's go.
They look good.
Right.
I like pre-read them. They'll look good. I love them.
Perfect.
Hannah approves.
Perfect. Yay. So get ready.
Got your pen and paper ready.
So of course you can re-listen. So it's.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, get ready to write all of these down. So 1, grilled lemon chicken is a good option. 2, blackened salmon with vegetables. 3, any type of quinoa bowls, power bowls, or whatever with a protein source and more veggies. 4, a loaded vegetable omelet with fruit and English muffin or whatever other side you'd like to do with that. 5, Mediterranean salad. Also, I'm just going to include in here any type of salad with like a protein source and a fat source are great because get your veggies in.
Yeah.
6, shrimp scampi is a nice pasta option because you at least are getting a protein source along with that carb. 7, grilled chicken sandwiches are always a very easy way to go. 8, any stir fry. I feel like you can really, I've never not said not to get a stir fry. Lots of veggies.
Yeah.
9, I don't even know if this is the right point. To throw in for hamburgers, I typically say get some veggies on them. This is more of a probably not as nutrient dense meal, but if you don't want to make it higher in calories, I would say like try to get a single patty, try to get more vegetables on it. But of course, if you're having a hamburger, enjoy your hamburger. And the last one, I forgot what number it is, fish tacos.
Ooh, I love fish tacos.
Yeah, same.
Honestly, I think all tacos, just try to, again, beat the veggies up there if you can.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Hope
all
you
right,
heard
I agree
something
with all
you
those.
like. Of course, you are not in any way limited to just these, but these are just some approved ideas we have.
For sure. Yes. Eat whatever your heart desires, but if you are looking for a little more nourishment, those are all really great ones.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So bottom line, as you guys have probably gathered, enjoy your food. Like when we're eating out, it is often to maybe celebrate or just like have fun. And if it's not, that's okay too. Like if you are just eating on a Wednesday night because you had a busy day at work, that's great too. Enjoy yourself, but you also can make healthy choices if you want to. And here is how you kind of can do that.
Yeah. Next, last point or last summary point is you might have noticed a theme with a lot of the examples provided, but try to add some type of non-starchy vegetable if you can. These are typically like leafy greens, broccoli, asparagus, anything like that. Biggest thing to note, starchy vegetables are like potatoes, winter squash, carrots, like stuff like that. But trying to add a vegetable when you can not only will be good for fiber, but also help fill you up. And if you want to be a bit more like, if you want to add more nutrients, vegetables are a great way to go.
Yes.
And typically sometimes I feel like restaurants know fun ways to make vegetables taste better. So even more, I don't know the word, incentive to try it.
I think that's a good word.
You could learn a new way to cook a vegetable from a restaurant. Yeah. Restaurants chefs have a lot to teach us. So they have so many tricks and can make sometimes boring things taste good. So
yeah, I honestly challenge you, if you don't love veggies, to either like go to restaurants and try them in different forms, because like eating raw asparagus is not fun. But like if you do make it in like some oil and some spices and bake it, like that's delicious in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So yeah, try some new stuff if you guys do go out to eat. See if you actually might like something that you don't previously think you liked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then of course, like we've already said too, don't feel guilty, go out to eat, enjoy yourself. This is a fun thing. That's really all I gotta say about that. I guess I've kind of already hit that nail on the head a few times. So
absolutely. Yay. Cool. So on to the fun section of today's episode. And I'm excited for this question a lot because
me too.
I'm very hungry right now. So I'm very excited to talk about food. So the question is, what is your favorite fast food restaurant? And I don't think we've already done this question.
Okay, I don't think so either. I feel like I always go first. So I want to hear from you first today.
All right, I'll go first. So I'm like Hannah today, and I actually have 2 answers. So I will say my favorite fast food restaurant overall is Portillo's. And that is because I have been born and raised in the Chicago area. So I feel like Portillo's cheese sauce runs through my veins. Not actually, but like,
you probably wouldn't be alive if that was the case.
No, I would not be alive. I would not be okay. But one of the best things I know, coming home from Purdue, every time I'd come home, I would hit up a Portillo's, and it just was like the most incredible thing in the entire world. And it like tasted like home. So, but my other answer is, so like, I would say Portillo's overall is the best one my favorite one. Not the best one. This is not a competition. But
or is it?
But my other fast food restaurant, my favorite one, I'm saying this one because it has never let me down. Not to say Portillo's has not let me down, but I feel like I'm a more frequent flyer at this one, is Culver's. I feel like that's also because of partially where I'm around, because I'm very high up north in Illinois. So like I'm already near Wisconsin, but I'm not associated with Wisconsin. Don't do that. No offense to anyone who's from Wisconsin. There's a weird rivalry between like Wisconsin and Illinois people. I don't know. It's mostly, I feel like, with football, but they like don't like us. And I guess I just showed some hostility. So I'm really not. Maybe I'm not.
I think we know why.
But Culver's never misses. Like, it's always good. Yes. And I could have so many different things from there. Their burgers, though, are, I would argue, like, potentially the best burger I've ever had.
I mean, yeah, they're really good. Mm-hmm. I also have 2 answers, of course, but you guys already knew that. Because I had to pick a burger place for sure. Like, I love a hamburger, cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, whatever. And I was gonna say Five Guys, but then you said Culver's, and that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I'd have to do a side by side to like make my final answer, because I can't like off memory tell you which one's better, because they're both so good in my opinion. So I guess I have 3 answers.
Oh my gosh.
So for a burger, I definitely agree with Culver's, and I also love Five Guys. That's also just so greasy and delicious. I just love it. And they have good fries, and they give you so many fries.
Oh yeah.
I will say Culver's fries are not good.
Really?
I don't like crinkle cut fries.
Opinion.
I know it is.
People love Culver's fries.
I don't like them. I don't
also
like
really
crinkle cut.
That's so interesting.
I mean, I do.
Wait,
like, I obviously eat them.
wait,
but
what kind of fries does Five Guys have?
they have like the seasoned ones. Like, they're just like regular shaped, but they're seasoned.
Almost like the steak fries.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Which
Interesting.
this actually leads into my next place, which is Chick-fil-A. That's one of my other favorites.
Interesting.
I love the waffle fries. I think those are second to Five Guys. And I just love like a chicken sandwich from there. I think that's just like a go-to for me. I think if I had to rank them, I guess this is kind of given my favorite, but I couldn't leave out Chick-fil-A. I would have to say Five Guys and Culver's and then Chick-fil-A, because I do like a burger more than a chicken sandwich, but
yeah,
they're both delicious.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite fast food fry place?
Portillo's.
Or like your favorite fast food fries? Portillo's. Okay.
Portillo's.
Theirs are crinkle cut, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't love theirs either. Because we have a Portillo's now. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
We have one here in my area.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this.
I think I'm getting some deja vu. I feel like we've discussed
and
this.
I remember you didn't like the fries, and I was like, took it very personal.
Upset. I liked everything else. Like, I like the cheese sauce. That was really good.
Yeah.
The sandwich I had was good. It was just, the fries are good. I just don't like the crinkle cut in general very often.
Right. Which, if you're not going to like that style, then it makes sense that you're not going to like Portillo's.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Hey, you don't like peanut butter, so I guess now we're even.
I do like peanut butter. I just don't eat it ever.
Well, I like Portillo's fries, but I don't eat it ever.
You just said you didn't like that.
No. Well, I eat them, but I wouldn't seek them out. Just like you wouldn't seek out a PB&J.
Okay, that's different. PB&Js are different than just peanut butter.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Don't come.
Fine, I'm wrong. Whatever.
Don't come at me for my dislike toward peanut butter and jellies. Although I feel like anyone would, so understandable.
Yeah, they're really good.
But yeah. Should we get Portillo's this weekend? Now I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
but
I guess I have one now.
Yeah.
I've never had Chicago.
I never
Portillo's.
think about it. I was gonna say, I was like, is there a Chicago? This is very weird. I don't know if I've ever seen a Portillo's in like downtown Chicago. But also I've never gone to downtown Chicago seeking out a Portillo's because they have a bunch in the suburbs. Like normally, let's say if there's one accessible, we can go. But I feel like there's so many other restaurants like Lou Malnati's that are much more like you need to eat that. Also, fun fact, Hannah will have eaten Lou Malnati's. You haven't had it before, right?
No, tomorrow or Saturday. So 2 days from now. When you guys hear this, I will have had it.
I'm so excited. You have to do like a food review. I was telling Hannah I would die for Lou Malnati.
She did say that. Those were her exact words.
It's so good.
Well, if you guys want to see my adventures, I guess you won't be hearing this till way after I actually eat it. But TikTok and Instagram, I always post my fun foods.
Yeah. And if you didn't check it, go back right now and check it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll have like a highlight somewhere.
Yeah.
Or if it's TikTok, you can just of course go back and look.
Yeah.
Or I guess Instagram too, if I do a whole post. You'll find it. You'll see how much
somewhere it's somewhere on the internet.
Yeah. Or if you guys are loyal fans from the beginning, you'll already know.
Yeah.
But if you're new here, this is the first episode you found. You're probably a little bit confused. That's okay. But we're so glad you're here.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Cool. Okay. I feel like we should wrap this up.
I agree.
Before we go on about other discussing foods, because we can discuss this.
We asked like 4 different questions in the bonus question.
I know. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone. If you're new, thank you for coming. If you are a returning TUD member, thanks for your diligence and loyalty.
I don't know if diligence was required to be a listener.
I don't think so. But we hope you enjoyed this episode and took something useful away from it. And of course, let us know if there's any other episode topics you'd like for us to cover, or we can do another like eating out part 2.
Yeah.
If you'd like that, if there was something drastic we missed. But let us know. You can DM us, you can email us, whatever it is, we will respond. Otherwise, we will You'll hear from us next week.
Okay, yes, we know you guys like these like more like useful tips, so hopefully that's kind of struck a chord. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Don't question it. Let's just finish this thing.
Okay, all right, bye.
Okay,
everyone.
bye. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Up-Beet Dietitians with your hosts Emily Krause and Hannah Thompson.
We appreciate you all so much for continuing to support us. In order to support us and sustain the success of this podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and review.
If you'd like to provide us feedback for future episodes and guest stars, follow us on Instagram at the Up-Beet Dietitians.
Lastly, you can show us support by providing a monthly donation using the link at the end of our bio.
Once again, thank you so much for listening today, and stay tuned next Wednesday for a new episode. Until then, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.